Hello and welcome to Finextra. I'm Thea George and I'm here with Suvo Saka from Emirates NBD. We're at the SAP FSI Forum in London and we're talking about innovation and disruption in banking. Suvo, thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
With fintechs arguably leading the debate about disruption in financial services, can established banks really innovate and be successful in this space going forward?
Absolutely, they can. I think traditional banks have a lot going for them. They have the customer data, they have the controls, they have the regulators on their side, they also have scale and brand. What they lack today is the culture of innovation and the speed at which the world is moving. If they can borrow that and learn that from the fintechs, I think traditional banks have a great thing going. Some banks would do it better than others, and I think at Emirates NBD we are discovering that we have to pick this up and learn from fintechs around us and work with them in partnership to try and get innovation in the hands of customers. So we started a number of things across the bank. One is a Future Bank initiative, which is our incubator to work with fintechs and big techs, our vendor partners, to try and put together an agenda that will transform how we serve customers for the next 3 to 5 years. That involves both the front end and the back end, and we've launched a number of products already over the last 3 years that are transforming the way the customers see us, including a digital bank called Live that we launched earlier this year, which is aimed at millennials and has transformed the way banks do business with customers. So I think there is definite scope for banks to try and pick up the pace and really add culture, add pace to their brand and their customer data to try and transform banking. So yes, absolutely, banks can and will compete with fintechs.
So what do you think good digital looks like for a bank, and what are the key success factors to get there?
I think good digital is 3 things. I think it's efficient in terms of cost management, it's effective in dealing with customer requirements, and it is end-to-end, right from the beginning to the end of the process. If banks can get these 3 things right, I think that's good digital. It does presume a number of factors though. I think one is you can have the best technology, you can have the best process, but customers have to adopt to it. You can't just push something in the customer's face without customers wanting it. And a lot of banks, including us, have been guilty of doing that in the past. Customers will pick and choose and want to be guided in what they're getting into. I think a lot of the technology is probably way ahead of what customers want. We have to adapt the pace based on what customers really need. So one is customer adoption, and what we've done in our branches is every branch has 1 or more service ambassadors who are actually holding the hands of the customers and trying and convert them to the new way of doing things and explain to customers how it benefits them. So that's first. I think that's the A. The B is really about bringing in the back end to work with the front end. So a lot of banks like us have been doing a lot of stuff in the front end, but the back end technology has not kept pace. So one thing that we're starting off now is a huge transformation program to rewire our back end and make it much more flexible and, if you like, future-proof to what's coming in the future. So that's the B. The C for me is culture. And I think that has to come from the top. So we have a CEO who's absolutely passionate about digital and who has a mantra saying digitize or die. And that goes across the entire organization. It resonates through all staff, and I think we are very clear. We don't have a choice whether I'm in risk or in customer service or in sales or in anywhere in the back office to participate in the digital revolution. So that's a C for me. And the final D, so that's the ABCD, is about the ecosystem. I think we are lucky in the UAE that we have a government which is very pro-digitization, and the Smart Government Initiative actually helps to push us in the right direction. And the providers for utilities, the providers for government services are all digitizing at the same time. So it's much easier for us to connect with non-banking data and provide customers an experience which is seamless across bank and non-bank services. Because going forward, I'm a passionate believer, the customer is not looking at a bank only for banking, he's looking at a bank for everything, including non-banking services. So the more we can integrate with every element of the ecosystem, the better we can be in terms of experience to customers.
So tell me more about how you see the future of retail banking. Will face-to-face and branch banking disappear? Will we all be served by robots? Tell me how you think that's going to play out.
Okay, so let me start by saying I don't think digitization means end of branch banking. Especially in the Middle East, customers are very passionate about connecting person to person. So I think the whole FaceTime that we have with customers is not going away. Having said that, a lot of the processes will be digitized in the future. We've already started by robotizing a lot of our back-end processes. A dozen have been done. Another couple of dozen will get done in the next 1 year. So we would have about 40 to 50 processes in the back end, which will be entirely robotized, which will not require human beings, and will provide the same level or better level of service to customers. We have a robot called Pepper in our branches, which actually meets and greets customers in about 5 branches. It's more of a fun element really for customers to interact with Pepper, talk to the robot, and actually get a queuing slip, and as well as get feedback of the service back to the iPad connected to the robot. We think we'll expand that experiment and have a lot of these robots at the front end, just doing meet and greet and really engaging with customers and making them feel like more digital in their approach. The third area really is about robo-advisory. So for mass affluent customers, I think a lot of the wealth advice going forward can be done by robo-advisors, and there's a project we're just starting off to look at robo-advisory for mass affluent customers. Having said that, will our top private banking customer expect to have a good relationship manager? For sure. So we are not getting away from relationship management, from face-to-face banking, for the good old branch manager sharing a cup of coffee and dates with top customers. That is not going anywhere. I think we will stay with that model, but in parallel, have a digital track which allows customer omnipresent, omni-channel banking from the comfort of home, office, or wherever they are, or car. And that is something that we have to work in parallel track. So I think I'm a believer that in the world of digital, if everybody is going digital, the biggest differentiator is going to be analog. So think about it. Customers will come much less to the branches, but when they come to the branch, they better get the great service for making sure that they can come back to the branch again. And banks that ignore that will do that at their peril. So we are a strong believer that both tracks have to work together, high tech and high touch. That's the sweet spot for banking.
Siva, this has been great. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching.